Hey listeners, it's Emily Strite and Claire Boyle with another episode of How to Do Everything, America's favorite podcast show. Everyone has their own opinion on immigrants and immigration laws. In the U.S., our immigrant population has grown by 1.7 million people in the last year alone. Crazy. Today on the show, we will be specifically looking at Mexican immigrants. How do they come from a third world country that speaks Spanish to a first world country that speaks English and assimilates so well? Whatever your opinion on Mexican immigrants is, you have to give them credit. They have dominated American culture with restaurant Spanish and have grown their population to well over 50 million. How have they done it? To answer this question, we sent Emily Strite to Cozumel, Mexico.
This is Emily. I'm at Grand Park Royale in Cozumel, and I'm just asking some questions with the management of the hotel.
Thank you. My name is Israel. I work for the Park Royal Hotel. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. So, how did you learn English?
See the television, hear the radio, see movies without the subtitles, stuff like that.
All right. What was the most challenging part for you?
Oh, the most challenging part maybe is in the to create
Like the sentences?
yeah
Okay.
like that.
To get a wide variety of sources, we sent Clara to interview her friend's mom, Angelina, who happens to be a Mexican immigrant, and she does not speak English. Hey listeners, today we're interviewing Gabby and Angelina Rivera. Angelina is from
Zacatecas.
Mexico and has lived in America for over 20 years. She's had 5 children here and lives in Prior Lake. She does not speak English well and has requested her daughter Gabby to translate for her. So, when did you come to America?
My mom came to America in June 10th, around 1995. She was fleeing an abusive man in Mexico, and she was pregnant with my older sister, Alondra. All sisters moved here, so she wanted to be here. Oh, and all of my mom's sisters, my aunts, moved here, so she wanted to be with them.
How did you learn English?
My mom still has a hard time speaking English. She prefers to speak in Spanish, but she understands more than what she can say.
What was the most challenging part of learning English?
My mom said the most challenging part is that one word can mean 10 different things, and the pronunciation and spelling is very different than in Spanish.
Have you noticed any annoyance or prejudice from native English speakers?
Oh, yes. My mom said that she's been called in a lot of things, and when people talk to her and she doesn't respond so quickly or as agile, they get frustrated with her and they think that my mom is...
We wanted to learn more about how learning English can create more opportunities for people in the United States. What we've learned is that English has become the international language of education and business. More and more countries are introducing English language instruction early in school, and it expands opportunities for getting jobs in the U.S. and other countries. Also, English is the most commonly used language upon foreign language speakers, and English speakers in the United States earn more money than non-English speakers. English is also proven to increase your standard of living and open up more job opportunities. For our second portion of our podcast, we will be looking into assimilation and missing family members that are still in Mexico. We will now go back to interviewing the management at Grand Park Royale in Cozumel.
And then, what are your opinions about like American culture?
Oh, I like it. I like the American culture. I like to see TV shows. I like to see the people, how they celebrate holidays, how they have an open mind for everything. I like that.
Nice. Would you ever consider moving to America or another English-speaking country?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I want to.
Oh, that's cool.
Now let's go back to Angelina and Gabby and ask them questions about missing family in Mexico.
For jobs.
Do you still have family in Mexico?
Mom said yes and no. All of the important people, like her sisters, and live in really live here in America. and her parents already died when she was like in her teens. So it's really just us, all the important people. She has her own aunts and uncles who live in Mexico, but
Do you miss your family? Would you encourage them to come here?
my mom said yes. America's a great place to be, but like she said before, all the important people are already here.
Are you happy you moved here?
She's very ecstatic that she moved to America because Mexico is shit. It's great to live in America, which has a lot of opportunities.
To come to America legally, a visa is required and it is a long process to gain citizenship. This is why many Mexican immigrants enter through the border illegally. Usually they are fleeing from harsh conditions that Mexico presides.
The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 defines an alien as a person who is not a citizen or national of the United States. In other words, an alien is anyone born in a country other than the United States to parents who are not United States citizens. Now for the third and final segment of this podcast. We will be talking about raising children in America and Mexico.
Back to the interview in Cozumel with Emily Streit and Israel.
And then, what are your opinions about like American culture?
Oh, I like it. I like the American culture. I like to see TV shows. I like to see the people, how they celebrate holidays, how they have an open mind for everything. I like that.
Nice. Would you ever consider moving to America or another English-speaking country?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
I want to.
Oh, that's cool. Now back to Clara, Gabby, and Angelina with questions about raising children in America.
Large increase in the number of Mexican immigrants in the last 10 years.
Yes.
Are you happy your children are American born?
My mom said she is very happy that her children are American citizens and she's glad we grew up here instead of Mexico.
What is different about your childhood and your children's?
Everything. There are so many differences. Just like education. In Mexico, you graduate when you're like 15, and you go to college. My mom wanted to become a teacher like her sisters because that's what most women did in Mexico because that's all they could do. But my mom wanted to be a doctor, but that didn't pan out. My mom's glad that her children has everything better just because we live here in America.
Do you wish your children were more in touch with their Mexican roots?
Not exactly. My mom said that she does, but what's the point since we live in America? Like she already rooted all that she needs from her own Mexican culture into us. So, yeah.
Emily and I looked into the process of becoming assimilated. We have learned that it is mostly the family's own decision on whether their children will become more Americanized. Some families want their children to keep their ethnic roots, while others let their children assimilate completely. Sometimes this causes tension within the family unit.
To us, it looks like the final stage of becoming assimilated in American culture is blending their own culture with our own and being happy they came to America.
In conclusion, English can be difficult to learn and the culture may be difficult to adapt to. But once you learn all these tools, it makes you a more well-rounded individual. It also opens up more opportunities for jobs and you can meet new people, make new friends. It's great.
They call America the melting pot because we have so many different cultures together here. The population of Spanish-speaking Americans is growing immensely, and it's beneficial for everyone to try to learn the basics so that communication will be better amongst all of us. It unites us as a country and truly shows how incredible America is. We learn so much from each other, especially the American and Hispanic cultures. That concludes this segment of How to Do Everything with Claire and Emily.
Thanks. Bye.